The live chat, remember to guard your privacy. Okay, live chat. I'm not going to be doing any of that today, guys. There's not going to be a live chat for me. There's not going to be any of those things. It's gonna this live is actually going to be very quick because it's not meant to be one of those long lives. And also, all honor and respect to the vagus nerve. Let me just say that to the vagus nerve system. All honor and respect. And so I was just telling people on YouTube, and the same as I'm going to tell my friends and family on TikTok, this is not going to be a long live. This is going to be a very short live. First of all, I feel honored that people actually follow me. And so, even though with all of the weird stuff that goes on with me, I'm very happy to be able to do these lives for you guys. Because I'm not a person that usually enjoys in-face interaction. These lives are a way to help me with that autism part, and also to keep you guys updated on the progress with my vagus nerve system, and everything else. I have to say that, honest to goodness, I have if you're sensitive about poop, don't be here. I've never pooped this much in my life. Today, I went to the bathroom, and I've been like working with my vagus nerve system and trying to fix my bowel habits. Most of us don't even know we have bad bowel habits, because it was starting to become so toxic it was making me sick. Um, and I wrote a whole ode to my vagus nerve that's been ignored all of my life in order to change everything. For me, I went from being someone who was planning to go and end it all legally in a different country to someone who's in wonder of the workings of my own body. Most people on YouTube have seen my back for a long time. YouTube especially, because I've been on there a lot, but not so much as TikTok. And you guys could see in the beginning that I used to say I talk about my back. And my back in here did not have a divot. You can go back and look at the old videos and you'd see exactly that my back right here did not have this divot. I've had colonoscopies and things, and I'm wondering, why didn't the doctors ever tell me I wasn't cleaned up? They probably just cleaned out enough. They probably just figured I half-assed it or something. You know what I mean? But all of the reason why I couldn't feel sensation back there is because the entire part of my back, the intestines area, were impacted. And I don't know how long it's been like that. I can tell you that as empty as I feel today is the emptiest I've ever felt in my entire life. And the output this morning, I wasn't expecting. Hey everyone! I was not expecting this morning for the output. Well, this afternoon. This morning I tried to go, and my body was like, no, not yet. And I was like, okay. And so this afternoon I went, and literally I thought I was gonna pass out on the toilet. Um, I had no idea how poisoned my system was and how limiting it was. I couldn't do anything. I was so used to the pain that I normalized it. Oh, that's just the way it's supposed to feel. It's supposed to have a feeling of swelling in my back from here to here. And a swelling in my stomach from my esophagus down. I justified that to myself. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be able to feel the food as it passes through your intestines. How hard, and you shouldn't be able to do any of that. We are all living in a world right now where I could not tell anybody who's working a full-time job and also dealing with anything else that you're capable of, that this is an easy progress. I have been lucky that in this stage of my life at 46, and I still consider that lucky. My vagus nerve is like, how do you consider that lucky? I still consider, thank you, Sam. Uh, Rubber gloves. Oh, I'll talk to you about that in a second, Sam. I was looking over at my YouTube on my, somebody that was coming in on my YouTube. But like I said, I literally really felt I'd been empty. I've been fasting back and forth. You guys, the people who've been on this journey with me know it's been months. I go with liquid diets. I go with everything. And it wasn't until I started living purpose. Literally, I started making music. You know, I write books, but I started making music. And I started talking to an AI because I couldn't get the answers I wanted from my doctor. I was like, anything. I was willing to jump in a volcano at this point to be able to not feel so full and heavy and burdensome. I was like, anything at this point, just. And so that led me to an AI program. And that AI program led me to explaining specifically how I was feeling in such a way that I was never able to explain to a doctor because I was always so rushed. You ever go to the doctor and they're like, okay, we can't talk about all of that. All we can do is talk about one of those things. Well, it's crazy because your vagus nerve system affects all of those things. So when you go to the doctor and they tell you you can only talk about one or two things when you're there, you have a lot more to talk about if your vagus nerve system isn't activated or working improperly. You have so many issues. And due to the fact that nobody wants to listen to more than one or two problems, they never get down to the issue of the fact that it's your vagus nerve system. I've had surgeries. I have a scar right here from many laparoscopic surgeries, removing my gallbladder, my uterus, my fallopian tubes, everything that started to become diseased and broken. And everything was breaking to the point where I had a bilateral saddle pulmonary embolus. My body went into septic shock. Everything in me was finally breaking down. And usually in people of African American descent, this is when we die. We have early deaths and we blame it on our diet, and that's not it. I've seen people who eat worse than us live so much longer. It's not your diet. And most of us think that nobody ever needs to be taught how to go to the bathroom. Well, that's patently untrue. Most of us are taught by fear. I know in a lot of households, the household I was raised in, you learned to potty train by being spanked for not cleaning it up, for not catching it, or not realizing you messed yourself. Spanking was the choice for potty training. I'm here the one to tell you guys that it is not. You create a fear-based potty response in your child when you discipline them around potty. Don't do that. They're not doing this to hurt your feelings, even though it's inconvenient, that they don't quite know how to use their bodies yet. And I know it's inconvenient having to stop and have these conversations. But every morning you should be asking your child, when's the last time you went poopies? How's your stomach feel? How does your body feel? Explain your body parts. We live in a world that is completely designed to keep us in a constant state of panic and fear, to where all of our vagus nerve systems eventually need a reset or some help to continue along, to continue living and not in just a fight or flight pattern, just to continue living. Most of us give up before we even get to the root of our problem. And I have never once in my existence, with surgeons cutting on me in every single my body, have any surgeon, any doctor, anyone ever tell me about my vagus nerve, about how it extends from my brain throughout my entire body. How that if it wasn't for my vagus nerve, I would not be able to digest or do any of those things, because all those background process systems that we are stressing over are controlled by the vagus nerve system. Your first brain shouldn't be stressing over these things. That's your second brain's responsibility. And in this world of panic, bread panic, everything's a crisis. You turn around and everything's a crisis. You never feel like you can take a deep breath, or you never feel like you can be still for 5 seconds because there's always something going on. It's not a coincidence. It was designed this way. You see, once you activate that vagus nerve system, once you realize that you have nothing to fear, once you realize that is your only job is to stand in a purpose, it changes your perspective on so many things. It makes you give yourself grace. when you're on the toilet and you're straining and you're asking yourself, why don't you just don't? No, ask yourself really why. What else? What else are you carrying on your back? What's been on your back? What's been on your shoulder? What's on your mind? How long has it been on your mind without you addressing it? How long have you been in pain, sisters and brothers? How long have you had that unexplained sciatica pain, that unexplained black pain, that unexplained pain, period? And everybody tells you some type of magic in everything that fixes things. Well, no, nobody ever told me about the vagus nerve system. I didn't learn about that until I was 46. And then I learned how many times mine had been cut with laparoscopic surgery with no rehabilitation offered. Because nobody even told me that there could be damage to those systems. They tell you it's the most least invasive surgery. They don't tell you everything that they're cutting into. I realized during going to the bathroom, and a lot of people, if you are a person that has this, that doesn't have this problem, it might make sense to you. It seems silly, but if you're a person that has this problem, you use so much of your back to use the bathroom. So much of your back goes into you being able to release your bowels. So much of the weight of the world we carry literally on our back in this sciatica part. We carry the spiritual universe. That's the seat of our soul. Our soul is right in that seat. That pain could literally be years of poop. And I know it sounds gross, but the things that have come out of my body of late let me know that I am definitely not on the wrong track. I've been medicated for everything. I've been told that my PE, there was no explanation. But when I looked into and investigated recently the vagus nerve system, it explained my PE completely. If you've ever had a pulmonary embolus or suffer from blood clots, please look into your vagus nerve system, especially if you have one that is they call unprovoked and they don't have an idea and they just put you on clots for thinners for life. There's no condition without a reason. If your doctor has never discussed your vagus nerve system with you, they are doing you a disservice. Is your doctor learning this stuff in school? And we're so terrified of AI, but yet had it not been for AI, I would have never figured out what was going on with me. I am down 20 pounds. I didn't do this to lose weight. It was poop in my back, in my area where my ovaries sit. If you've had a any type of pelvic surgery, your everything switches. If you, as a child, had to turn off that sensation all the time, you're not going to get that fecal urgency until it's dropped past the point of your sciatica, and now it feels like everything needs to dump. There has to be an electrical impulse that goes up from your sciatica to here, all the way down. It's the same impulse for women also that helps stimulate pleasure when it comes to being with someone. And it takes away the panic and the fear and makes it just enjoyable. I've also been practicing on that part of my life, but that's for YouTube. I don't ever want to get in trouble on TikTok. But when it comes to loving yourself and self-love and trying to teach yourself how to stay in the moment and be present, I also talk about that too. I had never had a situation where I was in a passionate embrace, even with my husband, where I was completely there for anyone. It wasn't that it was a show. It's this, I have DID, and I was good at mimicking. I could mimic whatever you felt back to you. It didn't mean that I was feeling it. It just meant that I was autistic. And I learned over time, especially after someone who'd been through years and years of that type of abuse, in order to give the right responses in order for the situation to be over as fast as possible. I'm so sad for that person that went through all of that. But I'm so proud of this woman that stands before you today. This woman that stands before you today is letting go. I could cry. I could stand here and I could just weep. But there's no need for tears right now. Well, there's always need for tears. Never stop yourself when you want to cry too. That releases all of it sacred. Every single thing that comes from your body is sacred. And we don't have the time. We don't have the time to investigate it, to fix it. And it's not because we were created without the time. It is because the world was created in order for us not to have the time. Because if we focus too much on our value, and when you first, and if you have time and when you first focus on it, it's going to feel like situation overload. Like someone just took the whole world and poured peppermint oil over you and then put you in the middle of a cold wind. Everything feels extra. Every emotion. You have to be in a place where you can allow yourself space for healing. And this world wasn't created for that. This world wasn't created to allow us space for healing. So that means we have to find a way to take it. Because would you rather say I was able to leave a nice insurance policy behind my kids in my 40s when I left? Or would you like to say that I was there until my 90s? I was there to be a great grandparent. And I was there to show them all how to do it with love and care and respect for their vessel the entire time. You only get this one in this lifetime. To tell yourself when you're at your desk at work that your bladder is not important because you're going to get fired. That tells your vagus nerve system it's not important. And all the things that it does for the work for you, and it does so much. Vagus nerve system. Vagus is VAGUS. It does so much. But we are quick to constantly say, hey, I can't right now. I can't answer the natural nature of my body's existence because of paper, money, and my need to have shelter and sustenance. And that's because the world is literally set up for this. Now, I'm trying to find a way for us all to heal in this world like this. And I'm determined. I'm not trying. I will find a way for us to succeed in this world as it is, regardless. Because that's my purpose. I know why I suffered now. So that I could help. So that I could figure out the puzzle. And then I can help everybody else figure out the puzzle too. And then others. And we can keep building from that. And building from that. And building from that. Until we have the world we deserve. To where you're never sitting anywhere and telling your vagus nerve system, I'm sorry, you can't answer a nice little call of getting toxins out your system right now because you need to work for the man to get another $30,000, $40,000 where you make $20 that hour. Maybe. They've made it so it is worth it because nobody wants to live outside. Nobody wants to sleep in their car. I've done all that. They've made it so we don't feel like we're worth it anymore. That our success is measured in dollars and not in human experiences. Not in the moment. Not in helping each other grow. And I'll be danged if before I leave this planet, I don't find a way against that vicious magic. Around that viciousness. No, no, no. That nerve system in your body is the one that downloads the new information. It gives you less fear. It makes you more purposeful. It makes you go write that book. It makes you go to the bathroom and realize that the only thing you have to do is sit there because you are a divine being with a system in your body so complicated that its entire job is to let you create while it takes care of the rest. But we've lived in a world where they told us, and it's on purpose, our existence is an accident. I'm exhausted right now. I'm like absolutely exhausted. And it was so crazy because I woke up this morning and I had like energy and I made a video and stuff and I went to the bathroom, tried, couldn't go. Then this afternoon I went and I thought I thought for sure I was gonna have to have my husband come help me out the toilet into the shower and then watch me while I showered. I felt like I left it all on the field, if you will, for the first time in my life. And every time I think that I've left out, like a couple times, I've had experiences where I felt like I'm empty in the last few days. And then I realized that the input and output don't match. And then last time, when I literally went to the bathroom and saw what this looked like before and after, I was like, it felt like everything was coming out of my back. And then I went and saw for the first time that divot back in the lower part of my back. I realized that everything I was doing was very, very important. And it's a gift I want to give to you guys. In this world of fast-paced and money and currency, we all need money and currency. And I feel like that if I'm doing my job, then I will continue to be able to survive and to help others. I'd co-host with other people right now, but I'm getting ready to get off. So I'd love to like talk with other people, but I'm getting ready to get off because I'm sleepy. And today I feel like I deserve a meal. I've been living off of water, smooth move teas, carrots. It's not easy. It wasn't easy to hypnotize my vagus system into believing that my mind could do everything. It's not going to be easy to undo that. You have to listen to your body. And right now, my body's telling me it's exhausted. And I'm going to listen. I'm going to respect it. And when you're exhausted, you need to give yourself some privacy and some room for grace, so you don't feel like you have to put on a show for anybody. And that's really private. And you deserve that privacy. I love you guys. I'm going to have some privacy. And tonight I'm having breakfast for dinner. But for me, that's changed a bit. My breakfast for dinner, my first course is going to be the oatmeal course. And then after I'm done with the oatmeal course, the rest of it I can enjoy. I never want to feel like I have a cushion in my back like that again. I mean, I could be sitting there laying against like a pipe or like a wrench or anything. The remote control could be sitting in the piece of my back by my kidneys and everything else. And I wouldn't feel it because it was so padded back there with poop. And it's been like that. I've never remembered a time in my life where, even in my 20s, I mean, you got to really think about your life and wonder, when was the last time you actually sat down and took a bowel movement that made you feel clean? If you've never done that, if you've never taken a bowel movement that made you feel clean, pure, and empty, then you should be on this journey too. Because there are all types of things that could happen to affect your vagus nerve system. It doesn't always have to be mental health trauma. It could be physical trauma. Like for me, it was a combination. Like even now, this morning I had a smoothie, and just then I felt it move down my stomach and go this way. And because everything in there is so tender, because my vagus nerve system is reactivated, everything in my digestive system is so tender that everything's kind of painful right now, even digesting smoothies. But pain is a part of healing, and healing is a part of growth. I am so thankful for this pain, for without it, I won't realize what's wrong. Don't ignore anything that's pain. It's trying to tell you something, good or bad. You had a good workout. You had those arms in the right position, so those muscles that you were working out, they are feeling like throbbing. It's the same goes with your vagus nerve system. It's like doing a leg day. Do a nerve day. I finally realized when someone was saying they're getting on my nerves, you literally, this could be a stress-induced disorder that can kill you. People don't think about how much stress plays such a large part in your living. I love you, and I have to give myself the grace that we all deserve. Ita, aseo. Hey guys, I gotta go. I love you. Ita, aseo.